From nailing a high-flying exclamation point in the middle of a damn gas station, to pulverizing a rival with your favorite weapon in their supposed natural habitat. This lot took their finishing moves to the extreme and then some. Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling, and here are the 10 craziest places wrestlers have hit their finisher. Number 10. Hangman Page's Barside Buckshot Lariat. Not for the last time on this list, one of the most uncertain and frightening periods in recent history offered up a beat of unexpected delight, with AEW chucking out a truly bananas and ultimately iconic bout that likely wouldn't have even entered the conversation had the world not been forced to stay at home throughout 2020. And it was during Double or Nothing 2020's riveting The Elite and Matt Hardy versus the Inner Circle Stadium Stampede that the folks involved opted to have the time of their damn lives whilst beating the piss out of one another within an empty football stadium. Look no further than the glorious beat that saw future AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page, post-legendary horseback arrival, absolutely nail Jake Hager with a bar and Kenny Omega-assisted buckshot lariat in the heat of battle. It may not have been the undisputed highlight of the greatest contest of its genre, that comes later, but this signing off of the bar brawl section of the barmy action, followed by a milk and lager salute between the eventual bitter enemies, was up there with the best of times in the worst of them. Number 9. The Road Warriors Doomsday device in a strip club. While many have taken to putting their own unique spin on the combination KO that is the Road Warriors' immortal Doomsday device over the years, nothing quite matches the OG iteration in terms of sickening impact. And with said finisher consisting of the team of Animal and Hawk hoisting up an unfortunate adversary on the former's shoulders before the latter takes their head off from the top rope with a flying clothesline, you have to imagine that eating the move in a squared circle would have entirely sucked. Now factor in this body-breaking maneuver being executed without a ring rope or canvas in sight, and you have the entirely bizarre scenario former WWE Chairman Vince McMahon found himself in when Hulk Hogan of all people requested for him to be hit with the finisher from the tag team icons during a rather pissed-up trip to a strip club, as you do. Hilariously, that wasn't the last tag team signature the boss would eat on the night though, with a frustrated Jim Neidhart not being happy about the Road Warriors going easy on McMahon, and ultimately, along with Bret Hart, showing the duo how it was done in absolutely pulverizing Vince with the Hart Foundation's heart attack there and then too. Number 8. The Undertaker's Escalator Tombstone. Long before they were clogging up numerous WrestleManias with their era-ending wars, The Undertaker and Triple H went at it back in 1997 on Shotgun Saturday Night, with the eventual sports entertainment pillars duking it out within a New York City subway station over the Intercontinental Championship. Sure enough, it didn't take too long for the dead man, that would soon make a living out of letting loose one of his unsettling finishers off of everything from a Hell in a Cell structure to a boneyard barn to use his surroundings to his advantage. Upon exiting the ring that was taking up residence within New York City's Penn Station, the game was soon caught in his tracks by the relentless Phenom. Then, much to the delight of all in attendance, or those simply distracted by the hilarious carnage en route to catching their train home, Taker managed to send the King of Kings all the way to hell via escalator, as Triple H was tombstoned down the moving station stairs. Trips went home with the IC strap mine because of course he did, but his exit was aided by one of the most creative and surprisingly humiliating pile drivers ever to pass through the wrestling barriers. Number 7. Shane McMahon's Many Leaps from Up High. There was actually a time when Shane McMahon was known more for his tumbling from great heights than his infamous fall from grace, you know. Back in the early 2000s, Shane O'Mac seemingly made it his mission to prove that he could hang with the very best of them. Not by putting on thrilling technical masterclasses with the finest WWE had to offer, no, don't be silly. Instead, the son of the one-time boss felt that the best way to earn the respect of his peers was via hurling himself off of increasingly insane structures in order to nail his trademark flailing elbow drop. Of course, SummerSlam 2000 notably saw the wannabe stuntman fall from the heavens/Titantron after being kendo sticked by Steve Blackman, but Backlash 2001 depicted the Daredevil actually intentionally nailing Big Show with his leap of faith from that same position. And a few years on at Unforgiven 2003, he once again tried to send a giant to hell from up high, only to send himself there on the back of Kane rolling out of harm's way. Clearly taking note from his demonic brother, The Undertaker also did something similar when faced with a soaring Shane during their Hell in a Cell bout at Mania 32 too. He loves a tumble our Shane, doesn't he? Number 6. CM Punk's GTS in the Gulf of Mexico. Mexico. He may currently find himself adrift on the back of setting fire to all things All Elite and picking a fight with the promotion's EVPs after All Out 2022. But back in 2008, CM Punk was making an entirely different splash, in the thick of a famous battle with Chavo Guerrero on WWE's revived ECW brand. With the duo going at it throughout 2007-8, things ultimately escalated to the point where the ECW championship rivals had no choice but to take their battles outside of the hardcore arena and into the waters of Guerrero's home state of Texas. As the two ECW stars threw everything at one another, including a water cooler at one point, during their Gulf of Mexico match that could only be won via chucking your opponent into said body of water, the damp climax soon saw both squirming for position beside the ocean basin. And sure enough, on the back of Chavo trying his damnedest to suplex the best in the world into the depths, Punk found a way to reverse out and into his tried and tested go to sleep for the floundering finale and win, of course. Number 5. Big Swole's Dirty Dancing in a Dental Practice. Returning to those experimental pandemic-induced wrestling waters now, your presenter is talking about that all-out 2020 moment that saw Britt Baker and Big Swole take a rather painful walk through the former's real-life dental practice in a tooth and nail match. And while the majority of the cinematic action itself didn't exactly offer an exciting new take on the walk and brawl concept done to death during this unprecedented period, after dodging a drill to the chops and a Novocaine syringe to her arm, Swole was able to hit a pretty hilarious iteration of her dirty dancing delight. After Rebel or Reba went full soap opera with her cries of "You stabbed her!" following on from Swole's needle reversal, now there's a statement, Baker's longtime ally was delivered a diploma-infused spinning ripcord rolling elbow in the middle of the dental surgery. Not content with just the one dental dirty dancing though, Swole would then unleash another on the doctor before locking in a laughing gas mask for the surreal KO victory. Number 4. Brody King's powerbomb at an autograph signing. Setting the tone for the absolute carnage that was set to come involving the Savage pair on AEW programming, Brody King opted to swing by Darby Allin's fan signing event back in July. And the results, well, were as brutal as you'd expect, really. Hot on the heels of the two beginning to feud within the All Elite machine a few weeks earlier, King took it upon himself to sneak attack the face-painted Daredevil at the South Center Mall in Seattle. If putting Allin in the same sleeper hold that had resulted in him tumbling out of the first ever Royal Rampage wasn't enough, however, the House of Black powerhouse soon resorted to delivering an attempt at his trademark Gonzo bomb that wound up absolutely folding his new rival through a merchandise table. This being the nutty pal of Sting, Allin then remarkably brushed off the entire on-location angle and proceeded to complete the entire 4-hour fan signing event like the massive lunatic he is shortly after. Number 3. Jeff Hardy's production truck Swanton Bomb. Making a career out of throwing caution and the occasional whisper to the wind over the decades, Jeff Hardy's willingness to take his Swanton Bomb to new extremes and heights has seen the charismatic enigma soar from atop dizzyingly tall ladders and towering Titantrons. Hell, even as recently as a few months back, the mid-40s stunt machine was leaping off a ledge to deliver a swanton to the Butcher and the Blade on AEW Dynamite. But arguably the most outrageous location to play host to a Jeff Hardy flip from the heavens came back at WWE's One Night Stand event in 2008, with the Hardy Boy appropriately delivering the extreme goods in his Falls Count Anywhere bout with Manga, whatever you want to call him. With the two warring around the San Diego Sports Arena, the action soon spilled outside of the building itself, and with the backdrop of a peaceful blue sky, Hardy's innovative mind ultimately threw out an all-timer of a swanton amidst the production trucks. After booting the violent Samoan off the side of one of said vehicles, an 18-wheeler dive for the ages was soon executed by the fearless face, with Hardy picking up the deserved victory in the end. Number 2. Darby Allin's gas station coffin drop. Offering up another reminder of just how unquestionably insane AEW's resident crash test dummy is at the best of times, I give you that moment when Darby Allin opted to hammer a pretty ridiculous nail in the coffin of Joe Alonzo. With Sammy Guevara nudging his pal into attempting to get the better of the innovative stunt show of a performer inside of a gas station of all places, Allin quickly thought on his usually anything but grounded feet and hopped up beside the cash register before letting loose what the rather enthusiastic cashier branded as a coffin effing drop on a fallen Joe. Now sure, Allin has definitely hit far more dangerous variations of his death-defying finishing weapon over the years, crashing through actual coffins on AEW programming in particular, but for the entirely unexpected sight of the former TNT champion turning a humble fueling stop into his own personal playground alone, this one ranked pretty highly on the list of Allin's most inventive reverse-facing diving sentons. Number 1. Kenny Omega's stadium-sized one-winged angel. Concluding where this mad finisher location list began, with a stadium spectacle that found itself being sealed off via the mother of all one-winged angels. A match that had already seen an aforementioned bar-assisted buckshot lariat, Judas effect to a jaguar, and a goalpost moonsault was always destined to end in truly jaw-dropping fashion. So the second Kenny Omega found himself with Sammy Guevara on top of his shoulders while standing atop a dangerously high ledge within TIAA Bank Field, you knew something out of this world was about to fall from the sky. Never one to shy away from taking the sort of bump that takes years off your life from merely witnessing the act itself, the Spanish God ultimately ate a stadium-sized electric chair driver from the edge of the Jacksonville Jaguars' home seats all the way down to the not exactly comfortable platform below. A bone-crushing crunch was then thankfully followed by a merciful 1-2-3 as the cleaner took out the inner circle trash and arguably pulled off the most devastating version of an already near impossible to overcome finisher ever to grace the land of all elite. And that's our list. Know of any other crazy places wrestlers have hit their finisher? Then let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're at it. Also, if you like this kind of thing, then head on over to whatculture.com and find some more epic lists just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Thank you as always for clicking on this lovely video today. Hopefully I'll see your faces very, very soon, but in the meantime, be good to yourself. Bye bye!